Hello there, my name is Dr. Puzzler, and today I wanted to show you how I get the game that I'm currently working on to save with Adventure Creator. So kind of as a bit of a preface, this game is unique in that it is a text adventure game. It's called The Source. You can wishlist it on Steam, and you can also play the demo. And the way that I am getting this to work using Adventure Creator is by using Adventure Creator's built-in dialogue system. So basically, the entire game is a large dialogue tree, which is great. The problem then comes when, because Adventure Creator does not natively save which conversation you're currently in, and so then when you load the game, it doesn't bring you back to the specific conversation that you're currently in, which is a issue because obviously when the entire game and the way you interact with the game is through conversations, you want to make sure that it saves where you're currently at. And so I had to write a custom script to get this to work, but it's a pretty elegant solution, and I want to show you how I did it. And of course, the code for this will be on my GitHub page, and you will be able to access it for free. It's a very simple solution, very easy to implement in any game if you are wanting to save the current conversation that the player is in and then load that conversation in, and on default when a scene is loaded in with Adventure Creator. So let me just take a look at the system that I'm using here. So the first thing that we need to do to set this up is in our menu, in the conversation menu, I have a action list to run when the menu is turned on. And what this is doing a couple of things. One is running a custom script, which we'll get into the specifics of how that's working in a little bit. But then the second thing it's doing is it is creating an autosave. In my games, I just autosave everything. And this is just saving every single time the conversation menu comes back on. So every time you're given the list of dialogue options, it saves your current progress. You don't have to implement it this way, but this is how I am doing that. This will work if you have, player-defined saves or whatever it is you're wanting to do. The important thing is that we are running this script whenever we want to save. And so then what is this script doing? Well, let me pull it up right over here. So this script is doing two main things. We have two methods here. We have our load conversation and our save conversation. And if you don't understand C#, don't worry, I will walk you through what the specifics of what the script is doing. So the first thing that it's doing, if we open up this object right here, you can see we have our conversation loader right here. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take all of our conversations and we need to add them to this list of conversations right here. Super simple. Just take all of your conversation assets, stick them in right here. Easy peasy. Next thing that we need to do is we need to create a local variable. So if we go into our variables menu in the AC Game Creator and we go to local, we're going to create a local variable, and we're going to make this a pop-up variable, and we are going to just record all of the conversations that we have. And it doesn't matter if it is named the same as the actual conversation objects. It can be, it doesn't have to be. Personally, I think it's easier to do it that way, just so that way you don't get confused. The important thing that we need to look at here is that the list of conversations, the order that all these variables are in, matches the order that all of these are in. So like start conv is first in both of these. Fantasy is fourth in both of these, or fifth, I guess. And then right here, we're going to put in our variable ID. In this case, it is 0. It's this number right there. So if, say, we had a different local variable, it doesn't matter. Let's say if we have a second variable and we wanted to use this instead of that, you can see that would be a 1. So all we'd have to do is just change that to 1. But I'm just going to change that back since we are not using that variable. Super simple. And so then if we go back to our script here, we can see that's what these variables here are doing. Oopsies. And when the conversation is saved, what it is doing is it's going to check each of the conversations right here. And it's just going to check if that conversation is active or not. And then what it's going to do is it's going to set these variables. It's going to basically just, based on this current value, if it is active, it's going to set the pop-up value to the index of this conversation. So basically, if you didn't understand what that means, basically what it's doing is it's going to check each of these, and once it finds the one that is currently active, it is going to set this pop-up variable to that same value that this is. And that's why the order is important, because if this is element 5, then if it sees that fantasy is enabled, then it's going to set sci-fi to enabled. So we want to make sure that those are in the right order. And then the last thing we need to do here is in our cutscenes, or in the scene view here, we need to make sure we have an onload cutscene created. And then what we do, super simple, this is a longer one here. Basically what we do is we just need to send a message to this object. We need to run our load conversation script. And the load conversation script is similar to the save conversation. It's just going to check. It's basically doing the reverse here. It is just checking each variable ID and seeing if it matches and finding the conversation in its list that it matches. And once it finds that, it turns that conversation on. So that way, when we save progress, it knows where we are currently at. Super simple, super easy. As I said, this will be in my GitHub page. Link will be in the description. Please make sure to wishlist the source on Steam. It is going to be a very unique game. You can check out the demo as well, which is super cool. Can I pull this tab over, please? Thank you. Super cool, super unique game. I'm super excited for it. There's a demo for both Mac and Windows, so definitely recommend checking that out. Super fun. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. That was absolutely a redundant phrase.